What is up, YouTube? What is up, Christianology fam? So we got, is Christianity inherently racist? Let's get to it.
Wrong. Christianity is inherently racist.
I look at it from a legal perspective as Christianity, as it was built into law in the United States to classify the enslaved captives that came over, that were brought over, transported over from the continent of Africa, and used to justify the enslavement as well as the mistreatment of darker skinned people, using the curse of Ham that is in the Bible, even though the description of Jesus himself was not white as is depicted in popular culture. But the Christianity as we know it today and the distinct differences between certain non-black people and black folks and other people of color and the conditions of our community certainly imply that it is racist.
Even within the Old Testament, you're looking at these different groups of people, different tribes going to war with one another, and even, saying that my God wants you to be completely snuffed out. So yeah, it's always been wielded in a way that's been inherently racist.
I think this is an interesting point because I do agree in many ways, not that Christianity is inherently racist, but that it was used in very racist ways to suppress people and oppress people and enslave people. So I absolutely do agree with that. And I think that another narrative, the slavery in the Atlantic slave trade.
Yes, Christianity. Yes, there's always gonna be a few bad apples, obviously. So they use Christianity to enslave black people back in the past. Because let's think about it. Most white Americans were Christians. They came from Great Britain. I think it was Catholics or whatever, and they came here and it was still Christians, and they started spreading the evangelizing. So yeah, everybody eventually became Christian in America. So, or they were already Christian because they were already Catholic and whatever it is. So yes, they used that to enslave a lot of people, unfortunately. But the thing is, God knows what He's doing. So when God brought us over here, He thought about, hey, if I brought these people over here, and maybe the white person, whatever, keeps them enslaved or whatever, they could learn from that white person and eventually build their own territory in America. Because if the black people in Africa, they're not successful like us over here. Let's be honest. They're not. Because they're mostly being ruled by black people. And black people ruling other black people, eventually, it becomes chaos. Because we become greedy, we care less about people, and then our community just degrades, unfortunately.
Also gets very sticky because you also had African slaves and tribes who were betraying their own people to give them away to these colonizers and more. So, I mean, it's like there's so much murkiness in that entire conversation that it's like one side over the other. Who's the lesser of two evils kind of thing, right? Those who are enslaving plus those who sold their families to the slavery,
Well, there were a number of captives that were kidnapped. So they weren't necessarily given over. Like you said, it does become a very, very murky and very ugly history overall. And so I definitely agree that, but yes, the justification, especially through the Catholic Church in one of the papal bulls, which actually endorsed the transatlantic slave trade. That is historic, that is a fact.
Right.
And so we have to, we cannot ignore that.
Absolutely. And I think that's a good point because even as Christians, regardless of our denominations, we have to look at the ugly parts and stand in it and admit it and that these were wrong and this happened, not try to excuse it.
Right.
So I don't disagree with you on that.
Right.
There's some really ugly things that the Catholic Church certainly did, and I don't deny that. And the only thing that I would disagree on is the fact that listen, I'm going to get it on the internet. I know Jesus was not white, y'all, okay? So you can't tell me my God is a white man. So inherently in what it is, I don't see the racism in the original, but how it's been used, oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think it's important if you have a kernel of truth, and I don't know that we'll all even agree with what that kernel of truth is, and someone or something falls away from that truth.
Man, Jesus had a tan. Let's be honest. Jesus had a tan. Jesus had a tan, bro. That'll be black or white. He just had a tan. He was just there. Like George Clooney.
Does it make the truth ineffective? Or does it make the falling away the most ineffective thing? Does that make sense? In other words, if there is a God, and I believe there is, but if there is a God and someone distorts that understanding or concept of God, does it make the God ineffective, or does it make what they've done in falling away from that kernel of truth?
There's a very simple way that this could be resolved, right? If there is any type of God, right? It could very much be cleared up by them appearing and dispelling all
Appearing to you, Goofy. Why would the Holy God appear to you? The camera is right here. Why would the Holy God appear to you, you Goofy? But you can't be taking care of your own body. Why would a God that's of a higher stature of we don't even understand what he is appear to you?
of these discourses, all of these different beliefs, all of these different, it could possibly end the conversation, or it could end all of this discourse right here.
I disagree because we believe that he already did that.
Yeah, it's really common too in the Old Testament.
We already believe that, and they killed him. So
yes,
it's like
because of that.
Yeah.
And I agree. There's a lot of evidence that shows in that. I mean, you guys were talking about evidence earlier, and there's evidence in the Old Testament how the angel of the Lord had come in, how he had transformed Saul's life into Paul. There's a lot of evidence in seeing the bush burning on fire, Moses speaking to Moses, and so there is a lot of in that belief of understanding where Christ has come from and revealed himself through Old Testament.
The Bible is a book that does not have footnotes. It does not have points of reference, which means that it is a book of allegory. It is a book of stories. It is a book of things that cannot necessarily be replicated today. You can't see this. No one can talk.
It is replicated today. Sodom and Gomorrah is freaking present day Atlanta. Let's be honest. Sodom and Gomorrah, that's the only evidence you need right there. That's the only evidence you need right there. Present day Atlanta is Sodom and Gomorrah that Jesus Christ is going to burn down again.
Walk through a burning bush today. If that could be.
I'm going to tweet that out. I'm going to tweet that out. If you want evidence that the Bible is real, modern day Atlanta is Sodom and Gomorrah in the biblical times or biblical days.
Be replicated today, then
I'm actually about to tweet that out, bro. I gotta tweet that out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna tweet that out right now. I gotta tweet that out, bro. I'm tweeting that out right now. Post. Gomorrah. If you want evidence that the Bible is real, present day Atlanta is Sodom and Gomorrah. Look it up. Look, y'all saw me just tweet that. Let's get back to this video, man.
maybe we could see validity in that.
Well, maybe if you had some DMT.
You see how God just like reveals stuff to you like that? You see how God just reveals stuff to you like that? Y'all just saw me. I was just watching this video and boom, God just revealed that to me and I just tweeted it out.
Which kind of leads into a lot of my own personal belief system, because I don't actually identify as atheist. I'm probably more agnostic than anything. And in recent years, I've come into a lot of African spirituality by way of Ifa, which a lot of people in West Africa would practice some form of Ifa. It gets, translated through the slave trade as Santeria in Cuba. It's showing up in hoodoo and voodoo throughout
which the church
South.
deemed as witchcraft.
Exactly, which it does
It
happen.
is witchcraft. Voodoo is freaking witchcraft, you freaking idiot. Excuse me for my words, but idiot is not a curse word, but I could say that. That's a person idiot, bro. Anybody that goes against God is an idiot to me. That's it. It's a fool. The Bible says that anybody who doesn't believe in God is a fool.
Have elements of that when you get into it, but it's misconstrued, and that lens of Christianity being put on those things has given it a lot of negative connotation when we really did that to have survival and a way to still connect to our culture. And a lot of it still was able to survive through sharing that belief system.
Can I say something real quick? So I'm Liberian. So like my parents, they're from Liberia. They're African, and I grew up with a lot of Nigerians as well from the Igbo tribe. You know, and I see, and I don't know, are you Black American as well? Like, okay, cool. So I see this trend of people coming into African spirituality as if to say that that's something that even people in West Africa like believe in. But if you interact with those people, like the African people that are over here now,
Yeah, they probably
like
don't.
they don't. In
Yeah,
fact,
they
they also see it as a lot of them also see it as witchcraft.
Because they've also been colonized.
No, well, see, that's another thing, right? If we're gonna talk about colonization, then we can't take away those Black Africans' freedom to also choose a religion for themselves.
No,
you know?
they can.
Let's think about it, man. Most of that stuff is witchcraft, bro. Because if
Totally
you have,
So it-
if you have to cut off your brother's arm, your brother's tongue to go do a ritual to get money and stuff like that, that money ritual, that stuff is probably real, guys, because there's demonic spirits in this world, so that stuff is real. But we haven't seen it like that. I haven't seen it. I don't want to see that stuff because I don't see nothing demonic, right? That stuff is scary. But it is what it is. If you have to cut your brother's arm, tongue, penis off, whatever, toes off to go do a ritual, isn't that demonic? That is demonic, because you're not hurting your fellow brother to go get money, and that is not spirituality at all. That's evil spirit.
Use for themselves. That's
Yeah,
not
so
the
like,
issue.
so to say that they're colonized and that's why they believe what they believe, I feel like you're looking down on their ability to choose and understand right and wrong for themselves.
But it's just
And I
a
kinda
fact
find that
that they
offensive.
were
Just a little
colonized, specifically Nigeria, because the majority of what I know about myself, my people did come from Nigeria. That was colonized by the British.
So see how you have the ability to look at your beliefs, and even if colonization had some type of oppressive thing on you, you still have the ability to choose whether or not that you believe in that. So do the Africans that are over there. They have the ability to look at their colonization, figure out what parts of their culture are disconnected from their religion, and they can still celebrate it. I want to go a little bit into my personal story because I know I'm going to rant a little bit, but I grew up in a African Liberian Pentecostal church in Minnesota. And over there, there's so much culture. Like not even a drip of it. Did I even understand that there was like whiteness like involved? You know, we have the same food. We sing our Christian songs in a different way than like white churches do. Even sometimes when I went to different white churches, I would be confused as to why they're not singing it the way that we're singing it. And so to say that like Christianity is this thing that deletes culture at its roots, I completely disagree with that because that's where I grew up in.
Do Black atheists have a response to that?
Well, there are different, I mean, that's similar to how the Black church is here in the United States, right? The Catholic Church probably does not do as much singing as like maybe a Baptist.
We've got gospel masses out here in LA.
But that's interesting to know. But there are definitely some cultural differences in the way Black folks practice, and that part of that is due to the racism because Black folks weren't allowed in certain white churches. What we don't understand about like white supremacy and colonization, that at times it's mental.
Yeah.
It can be mental. So even if it isn't overtly someone physically oppressing you, when we talk about the institutional practices, it means that it is ingrained into your mentality that it doesn't matter who it is. Even in your Pentecostal practice, if you are still worshiping Jesus, 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 and there are a lot of evangelical, like even on the continent now, where they are still putting white Jesus. I think in Ghana, there is a huge statue of white Jesus. So even if it is a
Let me look it up. That's why we have a friendly Google right here. Statue of white Jesus in Ghana. Statue of white Jesus. Oh man, come on. In Ghana. There is a statue. Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. Oh, wow. What the freak? Okay. Racist statue of Archangel Michael has Ghanaians outraged. Critics demand parish move statue of white angel overpowering black devil. Do they have a picture on here? They don't have a picture. How do you not have a picture on the freaking thing? How do you not have a picture, bro? Statue of white angel subduing a black devil in Ghana that raised racism, red flags globally. So this is the picture right here. Okay. Okay, this is the picture right here. Oh. To God be the glory. In loving memory of Mr. Andrew Kwejo I think Absibu. Okay, the statue was commissioned and blessed by Reverend F.R. Peter Cassidus Ofori Berfadius. But that's a long name, boy. Okay, that is true. Okay, okay.
Predominantly black practice, it is still sort of rooted in a Eurocentric.
But that wasn't a white Jesus. That was an angel. Okay, so let's be honest. Is Jesus an angel? Jesus is not an angel. This is a human being. That's a spirit. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
And white mentality, and we have to think about that.
Yeah,
Can
exactly.
I think
ask-
that's a response
Well,
to Trump.
actually, let him-
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, like, what carryovers, and I'm actually very curious about this, what carryovers do you see from white colonization that you see in African practices today, other than white Jesus? Because we can look at white Jesus and be like, I can even agree that we should probably put up less white Jesuses up in churches, up in black churches, up in African churches. But separate from that, what do you think is being deleted from our culture and our cultural expression of Christianity by adopting that into our belief system?
So it's the way we treat women.
Exactly.
The way we treat children.
Yeah.
It is the way.
I'm about to cook. I gotta lower the stove because I'm about to overcook. Lady, Christianity is the best thing for us. Look at the hood. The hood is the definition of non-Christian values, anti-Christ stuff. Everybody's having sex. Everybody's smoking weed. Everybody's getting drunk. Everybody's having babies out of wedlock. Nobody's getting married. Nobody's going to jobs. Everybody's begging the government for money. That's the opposite of Christianity right there. Right there. I might make another tweet. We're gonna tweet again, bro. Like, y'all seen this right now, present day. If you want to. For sure. If you want to know if Christianity is really beneficial, look at the ghetto. Most people who live in the ghetto do not believe in Jesus. That is why the ghetto has a majority of drug abuses, children out of wedlock, low marriages. Low marriages is better. Lower marriages and promiscuity, even high STD levels, because Christianity is not present. Oh, you gotta be okay. You gotta be a prime or premium. I'm not gonna be a premium. Even high level, even high STD levels. All right, we're just gonna tweet that, bro. Like, this is how I think sometimes, man. I think of something, I'm tweeting it.
That inherently we still don't stick together as well as we should. You know, these are things that are holdovers from colonization, from enslavement, that has been used to divide and conquer us. The way we still other each other in a lot of ways. The one thing that we hear as atheists is that we're trying to be white.
Yeah.
We hear that, well, you're rejecting your blackness as an atheist, which is the furthest thing from the truth.
Yeah.
It is my blackness that defines my atheism.
Yes.
You know, it is because I care about Black folks and the Black community. No, and even in our diversity, that makes that has defined, or that has determined my conclusion.
I'll just say that, like, sometimes we conflate, like, general human nature, and I don't mean to disregard everything that you're saying, because I still think tribalism exists outside of Christianity. I still think misogyny exists outside of Christianity. I think racism exists outside of Christianity and all of these other things. So a lot of the times what you're seeing is general human nature coming atop a belief system that preaches love, and it dilutes it, because that's who we are as humans.
It's our sin nature, that's it. And Christianity helps correct that. Jesus Christ helps correct that. That's it.
We're going to take something that's meant for love, and we're going to take something that's meant for unity, not uniformity, and we're going to use that to destroy, like, our relationships with other people. But the reason why I call myself a Christian is because I can look at a standard that's much higher than myself to say, hey, even though I have a lot of these differences with other people, we're all the same under God.
Let's move on to closing statements.
For me, remain curious, ask questions, do your own research. We should be creating things that we want to see out in the world, ways that we want to replicate goodness, love, charity, taking care of one another. So ultimately, that's what's most important.
That's everything Christianity embodies. Come on, lady. That's everything Christianity is. Caring, loving each other. Love your neighbor. Love your neighbor is help your neighbor. If your neighbor is not financially stable at that time, they need food, they need whatever. They need their bills taken care of, whatever it is. That's what the community is. That's what Christianity is. That's what the church is. We donate money to the church to help the community. People who are less fortunate than us. That's all it is, right? Thank y'all for watching, man. Make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe, and comments if y'all have any questions for me. Thank y'all for watching again. Love y'all. Jesus Christ is King. Let's get to it.